This video, I'm going to show you guys how to play the King's Indian. So, King's Indian, inspired by Daniil Dubov, a very strong Russian Grandmaster, who's known for his attacking and his creativity. So we're always going to start at the King's Indian with Knight f6, g6. Funny enough, the first variation I'm going to show you guys is actually going to be more of a Grunfeld, and we're going to play it against the London, okay? So if they play London with bishop f4, we can go g6 first, but we're just going to go d5. Because London, King's Indian, or Grunfeld is super good against. So you can also check out my other video, QGD versus King's Indian, because it's the same thing here. But essentially, okay, so just so you all know, King's Indian is when you go g6 and you go d6. This is King's Indian. Grunfeld is when you go 2 squares with d5. So against the London and the Jobava London specifically, we're going to go d5. And the thing to know is after you go d5 and castle, so you're going to castle, you're going to go d5, castle. Oh my God. All right, the best way to say it is you're going to go d5, fianchetto, and then castle. Generally, you fianchetto first. Okay. And then all you got to do is whatever they do, pretty much. Let me talk to God. C5 is always a good move. Or worst case, it's the second best move. And the computer always likes this for black. So super simple way to play against the London. If they go this way, generally this is supposed to go I'll go d5 immediately just for y'all. Alright, so here, this, probably he's supposed to go h3 here. Let's say c3, castle, and then he's supposed to go h3 here. And then as we can see, c5 is always a good move. If you want to go a bit deeper in this, you're going to go for the e5 break. So you're going to go knight c6, knight d7 to go e5. If he takes on c5, for example, like knight d7 or knight e4 is always really strong too. These are all common ideas, and black is already better here. So against the London and the Jobava London, you're not going to go straight King's Indian, you're going to go Grunfeld. Alright, so the next main line I want to look at is, let's just go over mainline King's Indian with e4. Okay, so this is the most popular variation you're going to see. You'll see this a lot. And if you don't know what to do, it can be really confusing. Because there's so many variations that white can play. There's so many variations that black can play as well. So you have this like infinite gold mine. So where do you begin? What do you do? So I think the easiest way to play against the normal King's Indian is the way Dubov plays. So we're going to go rook e8. And you can already see here, Dubov has a bunch of games. And if you check the description, I will put model games, a study where you can look at a bunch of these Dubov games. So you always go rook e8 first. The idea is we want to go knight c6, but they can go d5 immediately. So that's why we go rook e8 first, castle, and now we're going to go knight c6. Alright, so first things first, let's say he does not go d5. Let's say he goes bishop e3. And pretty much whatever they do, no matter what they do, shout out to my friend Sasha. This is actually where I got this variation from. No matter what they do, you can always go e5, push, and knight d4. Even if it quote-unquote loses a pawn, you never lose a pawn. And this variation is actually the first one that I want to go over because it's pretty common. So it looks like you're losing a piece here with queen check, hitting the king, getting the knight. But we can go queen f6. And now he doesn't have time to take this knight because then we take his queen. So take, and we're going to go king takes. And if you see in this endgame, like, black is already super developed. If they go knight b5, yeah, just rook e7. Bishop f3. Oh, knight d2. Bishop d3. Probably, okay, bishop, wow, bishop d7, what a move. We can go knight c5, though. There's a bunch of ideas. And this endgame is very playable for both sides, of course. But I think black is slightly better. Okay, so that's the first idea. Now let's say they don't take. If they go rook e1, they're trying to get rid of save this bishop. So we're gonna take this guy, and let's say they make a random move like a3. You can take, but you can also start pushing with c6 or c5 and play in the center. These are both. That's actually what my friend told me to do, if I'm being honest. But they're all playable. Apparently, okay, let's say computer line take, and knight h5, going for knight f4 and f5. You got 2 bishops, life is good. Alright, so that's the first thing we're going to do if they go for nothing. If they let you go e5, knight d4. Now let's say, for example, they go d5 immediately, which I will say is pretty common. I get a decent amount. So what Dubov likes is he likes going knight b4 and then e6. So here, if they ever go b4, remember there's a lot of fire on this diagonal. Like actually here, you can go ahead and just take on e4. But be careful too. Like sometimes we don't want to give up this bishop for this rook. So let's say bishop e3, e6, and there's a bunch of this guy. This guy actually plays it too. I'll add these to the file. But yeah, knight c5 has always really come my idea, and rook takes e3 actually has been played by actually Duda, and this is a very interesting exchange sacrifice. So you can also go for that idea as well if you like. Okay, so now that's what we do if they go d5. We know what they do if they don't. We go e5, knight d4. So now the next variation you need to know is going to be the same-ish. So f3. So f3, we're going to castle, bishop e3, and we go c5 ASAP. c5 is pretty much what kills the same-ish. So definitely always keep that in mind. If you need to know what break I'm going to do against what setup. Against the normal setup, we're going to go for knight c6, e5, knight d4. Against same-ish, we're going to go for c5. So now first things first, if he tries to take this pawn, this position, I've played this from the white side, it's really, really hard. Black actually gets all the fun here. Because basically there's all these holes and you're ahead on development. So let's say, for example, if they go knight d5, the only key move you need to know is go knight d7, because b2 is hanging. And the other variation is if they go d5. If they go d5, we're going to basically get a good Benoni. We're going to go e6, take, and then just play this position. And we're pretty happy here. I mean, once again, you still got to play chess, but black has a very nice Benoni. Like, this is as good as it gets. And last but not least, if he goes knight e2 and if he holds the center. So knight e2, we're going to go queen a5 and hit the... we're going to hit the queen side. Basically, now he can't castle queen side, and black has a much faster and active position. I've also played this from the white side a lot, and I think I think black is doing way better here. I actually stopped playing the same-ish because of this variation specifically. So same-ish, we're going to go c5 immediately. And then, like, for example, h3, all these variations, we can go back to what we know. Here, and then this is actually even better for black. So if they go sideline or anything, just know you're getting an even better version of what you already wanted to do. Alright, so that's pretty much all the main lines of the King's Indian. For example, if they go like 4 pawns attack f4, there's no reason you cannot do the same thing. Probably you can go, actually, you know what, well, you can still do this, but alright, fine. Against this one, we'll go c5 immediately first. c5, d5, and I'm going to go ahead and guess e6. So either you're going to go for the main one, or if it's something weird, like here, okay, e5 is going to be harder to play because there's a pawn on f4. So then always go for this c5 break. Those are kind of the big two that you have to know. Alright, so now the other variation, and this is, I actually have to thank Dubov a lot for this, is what do we do against fianchetto? Fianchetto was always really annoying because it was really solid, and I don't know, like there was no way to get a real attack or anything. So the strategy against fianchetto that I like a lot is we're going to go rook e8 and wait. We got to wait for them to castle, and I'll tell you why. Once they castle, we're going to go for this idea that I like a lot. We're going to go bishop d7. Bishop d7 with the idea of going queen c8. So queen c8 does a lot of things. Let me go, okay, so let's just go here. Let's say e4, queen c8. So queen c8 does defend the b7 pawn. If you go e5, let's just make a random move. Let's say, for example, e5, take. Now the queens aren't getting traded on the d file. So the queen is out of here. And of course, at some point, we're going to go bishop g4, bishop h3. And he can't go h3 because you have stopped it with queen c8. So against fianchetto, the money line is you want to go bishop d7, queen c8. And we're really, really happy here for from the black side. And I think that's pretty much it. All the different setups in the King's Indian. Okay, so actually the last one, and it's going to transpose, that's why it's not really anything different. They'll go English. So we're going to go knight f6, let's say knight f3, g6, here, and then d6. And now here's a critical moment. If they go knight c3, we can just go e5 straight away. But what we're going to do to keep it simple is they fianchettoed. That's what defines this position. So what we're going to do here is just go bishop d7. knight c3, bishop d7, and go back into what we know. Continue with the normal plan. You can go e5. Like, for example, if they go d4 here, it does transpose again, and we would just go bishop d7. And here, we get exactly what we want to know. Okay, so definitely check out the second half of this video. I'll go through the problem set. But that's pretty much all the variations of the King's Indian. You just got to know the major setups, and then I will start adding more model games and more positions. So definitely hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out wolfchess.org and all the stuff. There'll be links in the description for where you can learn more openings and get all the review sheets and everything. Okay, guys. All right, so this is the problem set for the King's Indian. So what opening? Right now they are playing the London. So you're going to go d5 first, then you're going to fianchetto, then you castle. And then remember c5 after you castle, but we'll get there. So number 2. So now what is the plan? So yeah, so you're going to go c5, knight c6. If you want, you can go knight h5. Computer always likes knight h5 if they don't go h3, but you don't have to. So c5, knight c6, and then knight d7 and e5. That's going to be the breaks that you're going to go for. All right, so now if they go knight c3. So here you have to go d5 immediately. If you go g6, it's a mistake because they'll go e4 and take the center. So we go d5 and we do the same thing. All right, so now against h5. There's 2 different ways to play. 3 if you want to be super aggressive. The computer variation is you want to go c5 and then just attack on the dark square. c5, pawn takes, and queen a5. And then knight e4 or something is always really strong. You can also just go h5 against h4 and stop this. Or if you want to be super serial killer, you can actually go b5. That's also a computer variation where black is slightly better. So b5, c5, and h5. You got 3 pawn pushes. Which one is your favorite one? All right, so now if they go knight b5, you're going to go knight a6. And then generally, you're going to castle first. Then you kick the knight. And after you kick the knight, you're going to go knight c7, knight e6. That's the plan in this. All right, so now generic, normal King's Indian. The plan is always go rook e8 first. Don't go knight c6 because you get d5 immediately. So rook e8, castle, knight c6, e5, and knight d4. Pretty much no matter what. So keep going. So yeah, if we see this position, we go knight d4. Remember, he doesn't win a pawn here because we get the e4 pawn. And if he goes d5 first, we're going to go knight b4, knight a6, and e6. And a lot of times this knight is going to end up on c5 like this. That's another very common idea. Gotta move this question up. Here, I'll even do this now while I'm here. I hate how it just did. Okay. So scrolling down, let me get rid of the annotations. All right, so f3. So this right here is the Samish. So remember, against the Samish, we're going to go c5, ASAP, and counter. And we'll go over the different setups here. So if he takes everything, then remember, after he goes bishop takes pawn, he's hitting this e7 pawn. So we go knight c6, and if they go knight d5, we always go knight d7, which hits b2, prevents the trade, and then we can just kick the knight with e6 after. So knight c6, and then knight d7. Okay, number 10. All right, so now if they go d5 here, we're going to go e6 and take, and it's going to be pretty much exactly like a Benoni. And attack the dark squares, try to go a6, b5. If he takes on e6, you can take either way, bishop or pawn takes, I'm pretty sure. But I think bishop takes is correct. Bishop takes, knight c6, knight d4. And then if they go knight e2, just keeping all the tension, here we go queen a5. Queen a5, and there's theory there, but the idea is you're just going to take here, knight takes, and then knight c6. If he ever moves this knight, take here if he has to take with the bishop or the queen. You can trade away this bishop for this knight or this knight. This bishop will become a monster. You always want to trade off this bishop for anything but this bishop, and they want to trade this for this. We're going to see that coming up real soon. Yep, so if they fianchetto, remember, we don't go nut for knight c6 and e5. For against fianchetto, we're going to go for rook e8 first. Make sure he castles. Then you're going to go bishop d7, queen c8. That's going to be the idea if they fianchetto. And after queen c8, some potential plans are, you can go bishop h3, of course, bishop g4 and trade if you want to, and then c5 and e5 are all very important breaks as well. Those are all live. And then almost not last but not least, if they're gonna go for the English, you still see the fianchetto, so we still make the same read. We're gonna castle d6, and then we're gonna go bishop d7, queen c8, and look for this. Same idea. If they fianchetto, you're always gonna go bishop d7, queen c8, thanks to Dubov. And last but not least, if they go b3, we're gonna go g6. If they take, just know you have to go d5 ASAP. Do not let them go c4 and knight c3. You have to make sure that they don't grip the d5 square. So g6 take, we're going to take and go d5. And if not, we're going to go bishop g7 and look for either a Grunfeld or just kind of what we know with making the reads off if they fianchetto or not. So yeah, that's going to basically be everything that y'all want to do against with the King's Indian. So you know exactly what to do in every variation. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure to check out all the material, wolfchess.org, and check all the information in the description. That's where any other information you need is going to be. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, the King's Indian is a very, very fun opening. Dubov helped me a lot, so huge shout out to Dubov. Thanks to his games, I kind of have an idea of where everything goes. So that's it. Peace.